So Planner is part of the Microsoft 365 suite, and it is designed for you to organize all your tasks. And when we open it, we'll go through how it's set up and how you can organize it to work for you. By setting it up in a team, it means that the permissions are dealt with automatically and that everyone in that team can see that planner. When you go to your office.com or open your SharePoint and you look at those 9 dots in the left-hand corner, you will see all of the apps that you have access to. And one of them is the planner. If you go through the planner app, as opposed to going through Teams, you'll be able to access the hub. And the hub is very useful because what it will do is it will bring together all of your planners. We'll just set the scene in a moment, imagining that we are going to be using a plan for putting together webinars. So I'll be looking at setting up the planner, adding the tasks and details, and some of those views. So just again, this is the Planner app, and the Planner app is found in your 365 account, but we can also add a planner in Teams as well. And we're going to look at setting up the tasks. And something to bear in mind is that when you use the planner, you will get reminded when you need to do things. And I certainly know that that's very useful for me. So what we have here is down the left-hand side, we've got Teams. Like I said, we can access this outside of Teams. But for those of you who are using Teams to manage and organise your work, then this is brilliant to be able to add the planner into your team. You can have as many planners as you like throughout your team. So this one has been added as the webinar planner. When you create a new planner, it will ask you if you are linking to the existing one or you are creating a new planner. You'll see here that we have headings along the top. We've got the planner webinar, an Excel automation webinar, an Excel formula webinar, and then a general heading underneath that. First of all, I'll just show you some of the options. So Janice, if you navigate to grid to the right of webinar planner, just down on the next row. So Janice is now going to switch into grid view. So if you work in this view, and some people may like this, then you can simply add new tasks in here. And we can add any tasks that we want to. The bucket is the column that we are going to see it in if we choose to see it in buckets. And this gives us a list view of all the tasks that we might want to set up. So if you just click on Add New Task at the bottom, Janice, we're just going to do webinar feedback as the title. So if Janice types that in, and then you decide who is going to deal with that. So Janice is just going to pop herself in there for now. So she's going to click on assignment, and it's any of us that's associated. And we can put a start date. So we'll pop tomorrow's date in there. And we'll also put a date tomorrow of being due, maybe on Friday. Let's put Friday. We've just put that in there, and it's in the planner webinar. So Janice, if you go back to the board now, which is the next one along from the grid, then you'll see that that has been entered in there. So you can enter it in the list if you like. We've got the webinar feedback in there. Now, if you click on the webinar feedback card, as we call it, that'll open that up a lot more. And in here, we've got a lot more detail. So we can change the bucket that it's in. If you have a look at the top under Janice's name, it says add a label. Now, if you click on add a label, you can color code, and some people love colors. So we're going to just make this pink. Some people color code their tasks. You can do that if you like. You can give them a name, but we'll just leave it as a pink task. As you work with these, we can add progress. We can add priority. And I'll show you in a moment, we can also make it a repeating task. And at the moment, we're going to leave that. Now, in the box underneath, there is some notes. So anybody who is linked to this planner can go in and jot some notes down. So Janice, you can just write these are notes in there. And we've got our notes in there. That's brilliant. Now, if you look further down, just underneath that, we also have checklists. So if you click where it says add an item, and we'll say prepare feedback form. So just prep form, Janice. We don't want to write lots of detail in here. That's it. And then enter that. You'll be able to add another item as well. You'll see on the right-hand side, it says show on card. That means that when we come back out of this detail, it will actually show as a sub and then send out link, send link as our next item. That's perfect. And then our last item is review feedback. You'll also see underneath that as well, if we wanted to, we could add attachments in. And if Janice also wants to make some comments, the comments rather than the notes up there, Janice writes some comments. We'll start this tomorrow or just start tomorrow. Keep it nice and short, Janice, we don't have to write lots. And then press the send button on the right-hand side. That's actually sent that and it's recorded that it's Janice who's made that comment. So quite a useful lot of information that we can store in here. So if you go up to the top again, Janice, of that card, and we just close it, and we can see that that card is on there. And because we ticked with the checklist that we wanted to see it, you can see it on the front there. Okay, so if you tick one of those options, it's like it will disappear. It hasn't disappeared. It's just hidden from the card because it doesn't need to be done anymore. Let's just have a look at the schedule view, Janice. So that's up at the top next to board. And as you can imagine, this enables us to view our information in a calendar view. So if you've got things that you need doing, they show up in the calendar. And if we go to charts from the top, these are the charts just for that planner. Now we won't show you our full hub because that's got all our tasks on across all of them. But if we did navigate now to our 9 dots, our waffle, either from SharePoint through office.com, and find our options in there. We just show you there, but we won't actually go to it. Janice, there's the planner option there. Thank you. That's brilliant. Yep, so planner there, but we won't click on it because that would bring up all our tasks. So if you click away from that again and just go back to our planner, where were we? That's it. That would give you, if we went into the hub, we would see all our tasks across all our planners in the organisation, so that you can see this is quite a useful way of being able to see who's got what tasks, how many tasks have they got, what tasks need to be completed. So we've had a look at the different views. We'll go back to that in a moment. But before we do, have a look at the top. It says group by bucket. Now, if you click on the drop down there, Janice, what we can do is actually view in different ways. So if we click on assigned to, and if you click back on the board view that we were in just now, you can see that instead of that being by the different webinars, it's actually by person. So we're seeing everything, even although some of those activities were for both of us. It's been put across both people. And another good one then, so if we have a look, Janice, where it says group by assigned, and there is progress, due date, priority. So that's the not started. So let's put it back to by bucket, and then let's go and start something. So if you go into one of our tasks, so let's just go in to the webinar feedback. And what we're going to do is we're going to go in there and say we've actually started this task. So progress is not started, and we can say in progress, and there is the start date in there, which we could change that to be today because we've actually started it, and close that down. So it could be a way with smaller projects, if you like, that people maintain them through the planner and making sure that things do get done and using the planner to do that.